Well, hola, and happy Thursday to you. Sorry, I said hola because I'm going to Spain next week. I'm going on a holiday. I'm very excited. Thank you for joining me. Please do excuse the toothpaste marks on my top. This is from my son, who just brushed his teeth before going to bed and decided he wanted to, at that point, kiss me all over my jumper. I don't know why. Anyway, perhaps he knew I was coming online. Anyway, thank you for joining me. It's great to see you here for the second time in 2 weeks of doing the same thing, because it all went Pete Tong last week. So if you've already heard much of what I'm going to say, stay with me. Okay, this is going to stay interesting. We're going to get to the good bit really soon, which is where I'm going to get two of my fabulous contributors to get on board and show you what it means to be part of a universe that you're creating. So let me wind back a little bit for those who are just joining us. I believe that the entertainment industry needs a revolution, and this is it. I'm John, and 30 years ago, I was struck with the question of why doesn't the entertainment industry understand genre fiction? Stuff like this, stuff like sci-fi, comic books, horror stuff, fantasy. They don't get it. They don't understand it because they don't understand the concept of the fan. They don't understand that fans are not just viewers. They don't understand that there's a sense of ownership that some people have and is often derided. It's only derided because it's misunderstood. Let me take you on a little journey to to explain. And by the way, every time I flash my hands, my camera is going to go wild and go all over the room. So do stick with me on this, okay? So studios are doing copyright wrong. They're completely misunderstanding the concept of copyright. And here's something that we can tell: protectionism doesn't work. So the idea of investing millions and millions into a single property, let's take Star Wars as an example. What do you get there? They paid $4 billion for this property, and then they've spent billions more producing the first few films. And so now they have sunk cost fallacy. They have to make Star Wars be a success. Otherwise, they've lost all that money. So they create this black hole into which they have to just throw more and more money. And I hope they make it. I hope they make it great, wonderful. But when studios have this, and all the studios have their own massive project that they've invested so much money in, all they can do is protect it. All they can do is spend more and more money making sure that they're the only ones who make any money out of it. And it leaves them absolutely no room to look elsewhere. So protectionism, protecting a small amount of properties, it locks out people with new, fresh, original ideas because the studios won't take a risk on them, because they're spending all their budget trying to make sure they get their money back from this small number of properties that they've created. And you know what it's like. The same year, the same franchises come out with yet another reboot, yet another franchise extension, yet another prequel, yet another sequel, and it's the same small number of stories every single time. And it's not getting better. You know this, right? You've seen this. You've noticed this already, right? So what can be done? How can we create something that's new but doesn't fall victim to this? How do we create something that's brand new, that really respects the fact that a fandom is a myth culture? You look at the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Greeks, or whatever, they owned their stories as a community. Could that happen today? Well, I think yes. And I've spent the last 30 years researching this and developing it and coming up with a system that allows exactly that. For a culture to own its own story, for a fandom to grow that doesn't just get given movies. You go watch it or you get nothing. Comic books, you either read them or you get nothing. We create it, you consume it. Something that isn't that, but instead is the whole fandom owns the franchise itself, owns the universe, and is a proper contributor. Anyone can be a contributor. Could that happen? Something where the myth belongs to the culture, something that completely inverts everything we know about copyright, about story ownership, something that wrestles control of our greatest stories away from people in suits and their lawyers. What would it look like? How could that come to pass? Well, I would like to welcome you to the concept of ex uno. So what I'm going to show you, just first of all, let's just dig into what this is on the surface level. So here's the website. Okay, so go to xuno.com. There it is. Have a look. It's a very nice website. It was a very handsome Brazilian gentleman who made it for me. Or was he Portuguese? I don't know. I'll ask the next guy who comes on. He knows. But anyway, if you have a look at the universe here, what you're going to see is that this is a universe with a 130-year story arc. So this is way bigger than the Infinity Saga. This is way bigger than what we've seen on screen of Star Wars, even though that's, you know, tens of thousands of years. What we've seen is basically 60 years. This is a 130-year story, and every single one of these minute things that you're seeing right here, every single one of them is the size of, let's say, the Infinity Saga, or the, let's call it the Skywalker Saga. I don't think anybody ever really wants to call it that, Ray-Hu. But anyway, so each one of these chapters here opens up a massive story, a massive canon. Now, here's where it gets good. What you're looking at here, the Magna Veritas, this is what I'm calling the Grand Truth. This is the series Bible, or the universe Bible, if you know that kind of a term. This is the thing that says, here are all the major events that people lived through. But if I was to just do this and sell it, then this would just be a book series or a movie series or something like that. But this is something so much bigger than that. Come with me on a journey. Let's say this is the A canon. So let's call these the events that people lived through. So let's say World War II, for instance. You've got the invasion of Czechoslovakia. You've got the invasion of Poland. You've got the D-Day landings. You've got Pearl Harbor. You've got, you know, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You've got these massive events that people lived through. Well, those are the stories that I'm telling. And we've already made 3 movies that are set to be released quite soon, and a whole bunch of other movies that will come after that. These are short films that give you a glimpse into these things. However, this is where Hollywood stops, but this is where we really take off. Because once we've created this idea of the stories, the events that people lived through, well, now we need to tell the stories of the people who lived through those events, and that's a different kind of story. These are not the great, big, grand, special effects laden things. These are the individual human stories that are the stories that are the most worth telling. So, for instance, if I was to create the D-Day landings, then I'd be looking for other people to tell the stories of, for instance, Saving Private Ryan. That's not the story of the D-Day landings, just some people who had a mission that took place there. Let's say one of these events is the liberation of Amsterdam. Great. But I'm not writing the story of Anne Frank. I'm going to wait for someone else to come along and tell that, because she's not the story of the event. She's the story of someone who lived through the event. And so we have 2 different simultaneous canons happening in Ex Uno. We have the A canon, which are the big events that people lived through. But then we have the Alpha Canon, which is the stories of the people who lived through the events. There'll be a small number of A Canon stories, but an unlimited number of Alpha Canon stories. There can be as many as we like. And this is where we allow other creators, literally any creator, including you, to write a story, to make a film, to create a book series, a comic book series, to create a game, PS4, whatever, that lives within this universe. You're allowed to do that. You are allowed to come on board and be part of this universe with full ownership, and whatever you make would be made fully canon. Imagine it like Star Wars fans making their fan fiction, making their fan films and their fan stories, being able to actually say, yeah, this is part of the canon. Disney and Lucasfilm including your fanfic in their canon and allowing you to make money from it. Can you imagine such a thing? Well, with Disney, you couldn't, because they think in this old way. They're protectionist. Well, Ex Uno isn't. It inverts this whole paradigm. So let me give you an idea of where you can start and where we're going to start. And this is what we're going to start releasing fairly soon. Let me just show you just the teasers of the first 3 films all kind of jammed into one. So sit back, have a watch. This is the beginning chapter of Ex Uno that we're releasing.
We can see what is happening to the world. The sky is falling, and you think we can look up? You think we can understand?
Stories of people like me are being recorded and hidden. So you know that we did this.
Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them cover it up. Survivors have made logs, and we've uploaded them.
I mean, of course, without official word, conspiracy theories abound, and we've had plenty of those.
You have been betrayed. This planet is dying rapidly. The planet will be uninhabitable by the 10th August at 10 p.m. GMT, when an unspecified cataclysm will occur worldwide. They know that this event cannot be avoided. It cannot be stopped. They have already planned their escape. All military assets have been recalled to Earth to evacuate them. Most of the elites are already in the orbital fleet, which is preparing to abandon the planet. They have already selected who to take with them. If you are still on the ground, you have been left behind.
Okie dokie. So there's your glimpse. I'm going to bring the chat in just in case anybody actually has anything to say here. So hello, thy peasant. Hello, Johandra Moon. Did I pronounce that correctly? Let's go. This is going to be awesome. Let's get this working. So okay. So in Ex Uno, you've got this event that's happened. In fact, I'm just going to show you it on the website here. So if we have a look. Here you go. You've got the last Exodus, the Human Remnant, and the Legacy Files. These are 3 events that happen all at the same time. And these are just 3 different perspectives on the same event, which is the world is ending. The world as we know it is ending. So I'm going to show you one perspective on that at the moment. But all of these, they're all different perspectives on, like I said, the same event that's happening there. So imagine you're in that situation. Imagine you're there. The world is literally ending. What do you do? Well, what if you were told that the world is ending and everyone who is going to be saved already has been? There's a plan in place to save the people who are, it's been decided, are worth saving. And they're already gone. It's already happened. You can't join them. You can't go with them. The decision's been made and they've already left. So what do you do? Well, what if someone told you that we're going to record some messages? We're going to record some messages and we're going to make sure that these people who are escaping, this escaping fleet, wherever they're going, we're going to embed those messages that you record, that everybody records in their system, in their IT network. And one day it's going to be released. What would you record? What would you say to those people? How would you make sure that history wouldn't be written by the winners? How would you make sure that truth will be your revenge? Because you know that the people who are in charge of the escapees, the people who decided who to take and who to leave behind, they're going to tell their version of the story on how the world ended and how responsible they are or are not. How would you make sure that the truth comes out? Well, that would be the story that you write, someone in that position. So let me just show you a teaser for this. It's called The Legacy Files. It's one of those 3 films that you just saw. We're going to be releasing them on the YouTube channel at some point in the future. But let me just show you a teaser right now. Here we go.
My name is Lynn Wilson, and in 12 days, like most of the human race, I'll be dead. Everything we've gone through, everything we've survived for it to end like this.
Okay, so this is going to be the first part of the Ex Uno universe that we're officially launching. And I'm inviting you to get on board, to become a part of it. So we've made 6 Legacy Files films, but in the story, there are millions of people uploading from all over the world. And so I'm inviting people to get on board and to write your story. Now, you can either just write a script, that's fine, or if you fancy yourself a budding filmmaker, make a film. It's designed to be really easy to do. These are basically desktop films. You can film this from your webcam, you can film it from your phone. The whole purpose here is this is just a person who is basically making a blog that talks about the end of the world. So this is really, really easy to film. You would have seen there that there's lots of like moving graphics and stuff like that. Don't worry about that. You don't have to do that. If you want to, that's fine. I will provide you with the assets to be able to do that yourself. But just to show you what kind of thing we're talking about, I'm going to invite 2 guinea pigs to come on board. Now, these are 2 friends of mine that have been working with me for a while, and I just challenged them just a few weeks ago. Why not create a legacy file? Why not just come up with a story yourself? I have no idea how this is going to go. I have decided to not hear their stories until this moment. Okay. And last time I brought them in, this is where everything went wrong because the volume started going messy. So anyway, I'd like everyone to welcome Gerroux and George into the chat. Hello, folks. How are we doing?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. This is amazing.
Fantastic.
It's like it's actually working.
It's already an improvement.
As a charm. Amazing. Right. Okay. So, did you guys have your? Oh yeah. Sorry. we just got a comment there. I've got to put this in. Sorry. There we go. Right. So we've got Laura there. She's just written, Laura Monroe. I was there postcard for the premiere. Not only was Laura at the premiere, she was the sound recordist on the clip that you just saw, and she's starring in The Human Remnant, which is the film that comes right after. I might show The Human Remnant trailer in a bit. I don't know. Let's see if I've still got it on this laptop. Because yeah, Laura was amazing in that. She was so powerful. But anyway, welcome, Laura. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so fellas, you know the assignment. Your job was to write one legacy file. You can create your character. Can be any situation you want. It's entirely up to you. Who wants to go first?
George, I'll give you the honors. So that will go for.
You've been waiting for weeks. I would feel bad to not allow you to go first.
If you're forcing me to go first, I shall receive it.
Okay, buddy, it's all on you. Okay.
Let me just get it ready. Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
So this is a script reading, everyone, but I thought I'll just put some emotions into it while I'm reading.
So am I right in thinking you're actually going to act this out?
I'll try at least. So let me first ask, as a upcoming wannabe writer, when it comes to scene writing, John, does one read the details of the script that explains what happens, or do you only read the actual, verbal
The
text?
dialogue?
That's right, yeah.
Entirely up to you, mate. You can go with the action lines and the dialogue, or the dialogue. I would go with the action lines myself. I would read everything.
Okay, let me see what I decide in the moment.
Okay, so this is the legacy file written by Gerroux, aspiring writer.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Does your character have a name?
He is known as the Homeless Man.
The Homeless Man. Okay, that's cool. Off you go. Oh, lighting and everything. Look at this.
A battered door creaks as it's forced open. A man, ragged, unshaven, eyes hollow, stumbles inside. He looks homeless, exhausted. His breath hangs in the cold air. He heads straight for the fridge. He yanks it open. Empty. He slams it shut. He notices the glow of a laptop across the room. The small red light of its camera blinks, watching. Under his breath, why is this thing on? He drags a chair and sits in front of it. Papers are scattered across the desk. He picks one up, frowns, tosses it aside. His eyes fix on the screen. He reads aloud, slow and broken. You are being recorded. Tell your story before the world ends. You have missed the last of the ships. Ah, yes, the ships. I was never a consideration, not for their new world order. It's all the same. My story. I don't think this thing has enough space for my story. I am part of the unseen. I won't call it a network. That's too organized. Though he is very organized. Long ago, he met me and I discovered my fate, no, my calling. And the ships, the chaos unraveling across the world, this is not the first time. And the new societies, they're taking a lot of the chaos with them. I noticed. And this too is being taken. A disruption in this facade. What I've seen traveling the roads unnoticed, ignored, while they build their vessels of illusion, unaware of us, wandering the streets, begging on the corners, sleeping in their alleys. And there, the poorest becomes rich in information. I wonder if he is on board. You've seen him. You don't know him. He's nothing special, but he did something special for us. He opened the eyes of the beggars, and now we see. But you see, and you, now you who are watching, you too will see the crack in the wall. My friend, lean forward, peek through. I must be going. I still have a little purpose to serve until the end. He rises and fades into the dark.
Sorry, I kind of unmaximized you a little too early there and focused on George instead. I kind of stole your thunder at the end there. Sorry, buddy.
No worries.
That was amazing, though. It was really good. Do you know what? I was expecting a pitch, and I got a fully acted out script. So that's amazing, George. I feel sorry for you, man. You got to follow that.
I really enjoyed that. Thanks, John.
That was really good, though. It was really good. I like it. Nice. Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask: if there's any writers, any creators in the chat, anybody who's watching this either live or in recording, give Gerroux some feedback. I know that he would love some feedback about this kind of thing. And part of the purpose of Exuno is that we do critique each other's work and we help each other out. And the rising tide lifts all ships, as the saying goes. You know, we rise together, we make each other better in this. So I'm actually going to watch that back, Gerroux, and I'm going to give you some notes a little later, if that's okay.
Perfect.
But yeah, George, are you ready over at the head of Tangential Connections?
Yes, look at you go, Tangential Connections. Right, hello everybody. So to start off, I am definitely not acting mine out. I will read the dialogue, but I'll also do a bit of scene setting. It's more, it's very focused on atmospheric and specific scene setting. So I'm going to offer you the scene and the environment, try and fix up the camera shots as well as some character descriptions, and then I'll intermix that with the dialogue. And then we'll see how it goes. I won't be able to top that. Gerroux was incredible, but I will try. Right, all good to go, John?
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Fantastic. So the screen flickers on the generic, that kind of thing with digital videos. The screen flickers on and the shot opens on a clinically white room. Let me put this over here that I can look into the camera in air quotes as I'm speaking. Fantastic. Right, so the screen flickers on. The shot opens on a clinically white room bathed in a harsh, almost fluorescent light. Think the conference hall mixed with, Latter-day Saints sanctuary, that very, very clinical white fluorescent light carpeted floor, that idea. The shot moves from the floor to focus specifically on the full body shot of a man, a very striking man, very clear in his figure. He's standing in a white, I don't know if you know Augustinian robe, but it's very monkish, a monk robe, but more clinical, more clear. It's almost as if a doctor's coat was mixed with a monk robe. And he's standing in front of a podium. It's a twisting shape, more akin to like modern art than it is to serving the function of being a pulpit or a podium beyond that. And there's a tablet laid on it. His hands are together, fingers interlocked into a stance of prayer, the lockdown, very monkish, again, locked in prayer. He's got a regal appearance, but he's juxtaposed by stubble that is very out of place on his cheeks, and he's got black markings under his eyes, which reflect the harsh lighting, again, from above on his form. These markings are really not necessary to be specific, but think face tattoo, kind of, but not ornamental or anything. It seems to have some significance or symbolism. Behind him, there's what looks to be a circular conference hall. It's empty, spotlessly clean, and there are faded tapestries on the wall, but dotting at inconsistent places. It's not a formal structure to it. There's a soft electrical hum that can be heard throughout the empty room, and there are muffled shouts, cries, and general sounds of chaos that are faintly heard on the outside, as one would expect during a purge or chaos ensuing. Right, so the camera stays on him for a few seconds, keeps the shot, and then he will be referred to just as the speaker. So it stays there. Then, in a steady, measured tone, he begins. I know this is a time of great uncertainty. Adrift in the void and vacuum led to the future, led by what would have, by now, ensured that the first garden was forgotten. He opens his eyes slowly, but remains in the same position. They are seemingly unfocused. We might not be privy to your circumstances, or counted worthy to join you. But do not mistake our absence as false testimony. You would be remiss to assume that this is our punishment. That remaining with the fertile soil of where you once were is the result of misguided promises or interpretive dissonance. What we said was true. His hands unlock and he gestures to the side with one hand. Calamity has fallen. A great harvest has come. The wheat and the chaff were separated, and the Bodhi tree has bloomed. His hand moves back to this other. I lend no credence to the expected claims of insanity made against us. I mention not the lack of surprise we felt when the first began to leave the garden. He smiles in a warm manner. I will not even seek your understanding for our preparation, therefore. He closes his eyes again, lowers his head slightly, and muttering incomprehensible words before looking back to the camera. His voice becomes more intent and directed with each word. Yes, barbaric, I hear you claim. Yes, inhumane even. Yet there, and he points up, there you are, drifting through the void, awaiting the embrace of new lands to take root in. His voice lowers to the initial register once more. And this should be louder. I'm just in a house with others, so imagine this quite loudly. Rejoice, for you are to bear witness to the fulfillment. Although we were instructed to cleanse where we sprouted, this is not where we are to wither. He smiles warmly again, softly and momentarily downcast. I do envy your access. It's long been a dream of mine to stand eye to eye with the great sage, to embrace his certain and unshakable form, to watch as the promises are fulfilled, having a first-hand account of the wonders they bring, to shake off the shackles of superstition and fear, and to bask in the brilliance of his vision. One of the fluorescent light bulbs, again, very harsh white lighting, blows out and half of the room becomes significantly darker. A shadow now falls on his face. Think if I can do it like this. Shadow on the face. There we are. Shadow on the face of the speaker. His eyes rather obscured. And it's evident that there's orange firelight dancing in through one of the windows to the side. The speaker continues. It's a shame to see our sanctuary reduced to a husk. But it matters little, considering what we are to gain. The camera moves to a closer shot on the man. Again, full body the whole time. Now it moves on to about a shoulder shot about there. And then speaks directly towards. Continue seeking the garden. Those who know the first, remember your roots. And to those who don't, it's silent for half a second. Prepare to wilt. Loud, consistent banging is heard from a door at the entrance of the hall, followed by shouts and continued banging. The man does not react at all beyond his mouth losing its signature smile by this stage. We will prune the decay as we remain. The sound of a pistol cocking is heard behind the camera. Rid this place of the rot that is prolonging your return. Again, rejoice, very loud, and he lifts both hands. The banging grows more aggressive, and a window breaks inward. For when you do, we will share tales of the flourishing of our gardens. This last part, again, very emotive, very intense. A door breaks open, the door in the back, and sudden movement jolts the camera to the side, pointing to the window reflecting the orange light. So it's been pointing at him in the back of the hall. Now it's pointing sideways. Gunshots and shouts are heard specifically from behind the podium where the camera's from, and the speaker's head is seen passing by in the opposite direction from the door in a steady stride. And that's C.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice. There you go. There you go.
Thank
okay,
you. Thank you.
So I'm noticing a pattern here. You guys, your characters are very poetic.
So
very poetic.
I was going for heavily religious rhetoric, the traditional cult, is it, isn't it, is it insanity, or is it not? That whole thing. So yeah.
Mine is based upon, or I was inspired as a young child by a very OG game that I used to play called Oblivion. And on it, there is a thieves guild, and the Grey Fox was this man who gave, purpose to those on the streets. And so that's sort of the bit of the backdrop to the inspiration to this character.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Because I mean, I was surprised that like a homeless guy breaking into someone's house is that articulate, is that verbose, So
Correct.
it suggests that there's a story behind this guy. He's not been homeless his life. This is not a guy from like the lower working class. This guy is quite well raised, but is in the position that he's in. So it's interesting. It raises more questions about the character, which is very interesting. And George, I mean, that's very specific stuff on the lighting, though. You need to write that up. I'll help you to turn that into a shooting script if you want. And here's the thing with this, with Exuno. It's so accessible. Anyone can get involved at any stage. So you guys can literally just publish your scripts. And if you want to, you can say, anyone make a film with this. The script is available. There it is. Or someone can get on side and say, hey, I'm a film student. I'm a budding filmmaker. I'm looking to do some shots. Let's get involved, and then you can work together on this. I have a feeling Gerroux actually wants to act in his own drama.
I would enjoy it.
Yeah, that came across. You were really feeling it. I mean, you both were. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the most natural voice that you write in is your own, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, George, take this in the best way possible. Your character did sound like you.
Fantastic, wonderful. So I've got a future in ideological movements. Fantastic.
It comes across, yeah. Okay, so I got a question for you guys. So with you guys already know this, but the audience is going to hear this for the first time. One of the rules of writing a legacy file is your character has to be in one of the Kubler-Ross stages. So they're going through a massive revelation of grief. They have just found out literally the whole world is going to come to an end. There is nothing they can do. They have been faced with their own mortality. They have days to live, and there is no way around it. They're going to go through the grief stages. So is your character in denial, anger, bargaining, depression, or acceptance, would you say?
Acceptance, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Denial, most definitely.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so I find it interesting if we let's publish these stories. Gerroux, if you know anyone who's into filmmaking in any way whatsoever, I'll talk them through lighting and composition and everything. And let's get it made. George, if you can find, in fact, you guys are local to each other. I'm sure you guys can come up with something.
We can make a plan.
It'd be really interesting when you put it out there. Let's see if the audience can tell which stage they're in. Does it come across? Because in some of the original legacy files, the ones that we're going to be releasing that kicked the whole thing off, in one scene there's 3 different characters, and they're all 3 of them in a different stage, but they're having the same conversation, but the perspective on the conversation is different. So I find it a really fascinating thing. Anyway, so folks. I'm throwing this out there to everyone. We're going to end the stream in a moment. Oh, yes, George.
Apologies. I have a question. Just regarding scripts and styles and things, because the legacy file we have been, we've seen the one with the fantastic actress in the room. That was the bloggy kind of thing, as you described. Now, I think if it's not completely wrong, which is also totally fine. I was told to write a script. I wrote a thing. But if there's opportunity and place for not narrative liberties for the sake of a canon or alpha or whatever, but a story which could imply more, but there's no guarantee of that unless it fits in with a future narrative. So my question is, and this is for the sake of any future projects or things people want to try as well, are you looking specifically for, I have a camera and I'm here? Is that the limit of, or is that the preferred thing for accessibility? Is it take part in the community in this world, or use this format specifically?
If I understand what you're asking, I mean, there's no limit on the rules here. I mean, if you've got a good idea, pitch it to me and let's see, does it fit in with it? But the story, obviously, the story behind this is people have been told, you know, this is happening. Here's your link. You click on this, and your video will be uploaded. So that could be done from a mobile setting. It could be done from a desktop. It could be done. It could be anything. So I imagine most people are going to do the desktop movie style, where it's just, you know, one person monologuing to a webcam. But then in one of the legacy files that we're going to publish, there's the three people that are in it. They're getting ready for a party. So one of them's walking all around the room, and then some guests come in, and so they actually start to have a house party in the middle of it. And I won't tell you which, but one of them actually survives.
Ooh.
But there are links. Yes, there are links between the characters in the legacy files that have already been made to some of the characters that will appear in some of the forthcoming stories that are going to come right after it, including the Last Exodus. So yeah, I mean, I'm up for twists and turns, as long as it doesn't. Well, let's go through the rules. I did actually have a slide, but it did sharing screen wasn't working so well, so I'm just going to tell them to you. So awesome. The rules of creating a legacy file are this. 1, don't be destructive. So you can't unwrite someone else's story. You can't destroy that which has already been written. You respect the fact that anybody else that's already written something, it is now canon, and you can't undo that. So as long as you go from that perspective, you're good. You stick to the character's story. So don't be telling the story of why the world is ending and what's happening. That's my job. I'm writing the A canon that carries this whole thing. And if people start putting their own perspectives on, oh no, the sun's blowing up, oh no, it's a worldwide flood or whatever, then suddenly we don't have a story, we have stories, you know. So you just stick to your character. Just tell me the story. We've already said use a Kubler-Ross stage. It's unrealistic if they're not going to be in a Kubler-Ross stage. They're going to be in one of these stages. The least likely one is acceptance. Because this would happen so close to the end. You've only got days to get used to this idea. So a lot of people would die when they're in one of the earlier stages. Tell the character's story. So it's not just a case of, I'm on the screen, I've seen this, I don't like it. But tell an actual story of, you know, where's the character coming from? Where are they going from? Give us an arc to who this person is. And then keep it under 6 minutes. We don't want, 40-minute rants. We want this to be something that people can just dip into, can watch it real easy, and they can come back later and watch the next one created by someone else. And then keep it family friendly. We are not looking to make the sci-fi only fans. The way I would pitch it is think Star Wars. So it's not aimed at kids, but it's available to kids. So we're not looking to make something super adult here, even though the themes are quite adult. We want something that is as broad as possible in terms of accessibility. It doesn't put people off. This camera is really going for it today, isn't it? Man, I'm feeling dizzy just watching myself. But yeah, we've got some feedback here from a few people, which is really good. I like so Imogen there. Thank you very much. Very good. That was regarding Gerroux. She wrote that just as you were you're finishing up there. And then I like this from Laura. And again, Laura is alumni. Laura has been part of Ex Uno since the very, very beginning. She was there the first time we rolled camera, and she played one of the first ever characters. So we're
getting foundational feedback here.
Honestly, this is a big deal. So she's put there, both are fantastic in their own ways. So much emotion going on behind the words. Like you, John, I would like to watch these back and write up some notes. So yes, I will. I will definitely forward the notes on. In fact, Laura, come on to the next stream and give your notes. This is what we're going to ask to happen.
That would be fun.
Next time. Okay, so There won't be a stream next week because I'm going away. But the week after, we're going to be doing some real life feedback. And I'm also going to be inviting anyone else who wants to write a legacy file, get in touch, either put it in the comments, or there's a link in the comments, isn't there, Gerroux, where people can actually submit. You can actually just say, it's a little web form. You click on that and it gives you your ability to submit your own idea. It can be a full script. It can just be a pitch. It can literally just be a few sentences of, this is the person, this is the situation, and there we go. Great. I want to hear it. I want to hear your ideas. And Imogen's come back. George's was also very good. Can't wait for more. Fantastic. This is good. So everyone in the chat, thank you. Thank you for the positivity. I really appreciate it. This is a new thing that we're doing. It has never been done before. No one's ever heard of anything like this before. This is literally my lifelong project of trying to understand how can we do something like this. So I really appreciate everyone in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us. Fellas, thank you. I really hope it came out the way you wanted it to and that you're happy with how it went. I'm loving this. You are the first people to ever contribute. You are the first ever Alpha Canon writers. So I thank you for being here and being a part of that and putting up with my weird camera that just doesn't seem to know what it's doing in life. Laura, please do write a poem. Absolutely 100%. Laura's like an old time poet writer. Nice. Even. And I'm not going to call it old again. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that. Anyway. Right. I'm going to cut it there, guys. The invite is out there. So create an idea, come up with an idea, come up with a pitch, give you some feedback on these two fine gentlemen's first work, which I think was fantastic. And share this, get it out there. If you know anyone who fancies themselves as a writer, if they're a budding writer, if they're a professional writer, if they're doing GCSE English and they want to do something for their coursework that they might as well make into a film, get it out there. Tell everyone, let's do this. The fans are fighting back. Yeah. The community is taking ownership, and the suits are not going to own this one because you will. I could not possibly do a George Lucas and sell Ex Uno because the majority of it I won't own. You will. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for joining us. I hope to see you at the next stream. It's going to be not next week, but the week after. Thank you so much for joining me, boys.
Thanks for your time, John.
Hope to see you again next time. Oh, by the way, we've got a new video coming out on Star Wars Theory. So make sure you get online and watch that. That's me talking about Star Wars Theory and my personal friendship with him. I met him online a bit. That's about it. Anyway, right, join us for that. And the Legacy Files trailer is actually going to be dropping online soon. So make sure you stick around for that. Thank you for joining, guys. Thank you very much. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.